Now at 5:30, a troubling trend continues, this time in Kentucky. Police in Mount Sterling say they're investigating 12 heroin overdoses that happened in just a matter of hours. More on that ahead on WKYT this morning.
We're on top of that story also this morning. The death toll in Italy is now more than 250 after a devastating earthquake. We'll have updates there on the rescue efforts ongoing.
And some EKU students are petitioning to get a dorm renamed after Harambe. That story is ahead on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Kentucky mornings start right here on WKYT. Good morning to you. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Andrea Walker. Thanks so much for starting your day with us. The time now is 5:31. We are moving right along this morning.
And it's early, but it feels like middle of the day as far as those temperatures are already. A little
It's shocked
humid
me
and
when I walked outside.
warm.
It was warm. Micah,
right.
What's the deal?
Listen, it's a 15 to 20 degree swing just 48 hours ago. 48 hours ago felt amazing. Not so much this morning. Here comes that humid air sliding on in. You'll feel that in the upcoming days. And the reason being is that warm front is now to the north of us, so we're in that warm sector, meaning expect hot and humid conditions the next several days until this front can pass on through, which more than likely will be sometime early next week. 70s this morning. By the afternoon, roughly 90 degrees. That small chance of rain is in the forecast. And I'm going to show you when we can expect even warmer conditions than 90. That's coming up in your 7-day in just a few minutes.
Hey, we'll see you shortly. Thank you.
New this morning, Lexington police say an officer was hurt during an overnight traffic stop.
And it turns out that the driver may have been involved in an earlier robbery. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner is covering that story and is live at police headquarters to explain. Caitlin?
Good morning, Bill. It was just hours ago a police officer was injured in that traffic stop. That traffic stop at the time was nothing more than a traffic stop, but now police think it was related to a late night robbery. Now here's how police tell us it all went down. Around 10:20 Wednesday night, police were called to the 1300 block of Center Parkway for a robbery. They say 3 people forced their way into the apartment looking for someone who owed them money. We're told a firearm was involved, but suspects fled. A couple of hours later, into the early morning hours today, an officer attempted to make a traffic stop on a car without brake lights. The officer at the time didn't think the stop was related to the robbery, but we're told the driver acted suspicious. The officer smelled narcotics in the car. Police say the driver opened their door, and when that happened, the officer placed his hand on the driver, but the driver sped off. Now, the officer only had minor injuries, luckily, and as the investigation continues, police are looking for a gold Kia. Live in Lexington, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
Caitlin, thank you. And new this morning, a second arrest has been made in a violent robbery. Lexington police say the victim was robbed and beaten with a wrench outside of a hotel near New Circle at Richmond Road. Kevin Bentley is now the second person to be charged with robbery in that case. Hayden Rogers was arraigned on the same charge yesterday. A troubling trend is continuing, and this time it is right here in Kentucky. Police in Mount Sterling say they are investigating 12 heroin overdoses that happened in just a matter of hours. Our Michelle Chamberlain is at the alert desk with more on that. Michelle?
Bill, this definitely is a troubling trend, like you said. Yesterday morning, we told you about 30 overdoses in Cincinnati, all taking place in one day's time. This morning, police in Mount Sterling say they're investigating 12 heroin overdoses, all taking place in a 5-hour span. The Mount Sterling Police Department posted a warning about what they believe is a potent form of heroin. It's a trend that we're seeing across the region, and leaders are looking for answers to combat this troubling epidemic. So leaders from 9 different states, including Kentucky, will get together today for a summit. The goal is to coordinate efforts, gather data, and figure out ways to battle this drug abuse epidemic. Andrea?
Michelle, thank you. New this morning, some Kentucky firefighters who went out west to fight wildfires are talking about their experiences. They went to Montana a few weeks ago. They say they started traveling just a few hours after learning they would be sent out west to help. And while they're used to fighting forest fires in Kentucky, the firefighters say wildfires in the western U.S. are a whole different beast.
The fires we have here in eastern Kentucky are more ground fires. Out west, you get more of what's called crown fires, where the fire gets up in top of the trees.
Firefighters say they're often on call every summer in case they have to go out west, and they say those trips can last for weeks at a time. Time now is 5:35. The frantic search for survivors in central Italy has entered a second day. Yesterday, the region was rocked by a massive earthquake that leveled at least 3 towns.
More than 250 people are dead and many others are injured. There is still continuing hope. Tina Kraus has the latest from the hard-hit town of Amatrice.
Rescue teams in earthquake-ravaged Italy worked through the night and into daybreak using search dogs and heavy equipment trying to find people feared buried alive under mounds of debris. Armored tanks are joining the effort in hard-hit towns like Pescara del Tronto. Yesterday, crews there carefully pulled a girl named Giulia to safety. She had been trapped for 17 hours. The scene did little to comfort this firefighter. Giulia is being taken to the hospital, and that's good news, he says. As far as the rest is concerned, the images speak for themselves. The powerful quake struck Wednesday, leaving hundreds dead. Many of the victims came from here in Amatrice, which is packed with tourists this time of year. Several guests of the damaged Hotel Roma in the town lost their lives when the quake hit, including an 11-year-old boy who was first found alive in the rubble. Amatrice was set to hold an annual food festival this weekend. Now, thousands of those left homeless by the disaster have set up camp in tent cities around the devastation, wondering how they'll rebuild from here. Tina Kraus, CBS News, Amatrice, Italy.
And President Obama has offered his condolences to Italy's president by phone and commended the nation's first responders on their quick action. And today, students from a Kentucky university will be heading down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They'll be helping out with the flood relief there. All weekend, 16 Asbury University students will be working to disinfect and clean houses, remove debris, and distribute some supplies. At least 13 deaths have been attributed to the floods in Louisiana, and so far more than $120 million in approved federal aid has gone to the state over the last 2 weeks. During his visit to the state Tuesday, President Obama said that funding will be used for temporary rental assistance, home repairs, and flood insurance.
Laurel County deputies have arrested a man who they say fed meth to 2 dogs, causing their death. They say Benjamin Burdett also used meth around a 2-year-old girl. The owner of one of the dogs, says Burdett had moved into her grandfather's house. Her dogs were still there, and she didn't know what happened until it was too late.
It breaks my heart to know my poor little dog had to go through that. She didn't deserve it.
Oh, hate to see her hurting. Police charge Burdett with wanton endangerment and 2 counts of animal cruelty. They also say he's a sex offender who was not registered.
Students of a college in Lexington are telling us that they were surprised to learn that their school had suddenly shut down. MedTech announced in an email to students that its campus on Granthiana Parkway has closed. Other MedTech campuses in the Washington, D.C. area closed in recent weeks after the Department of Education cut off access to federal loans and grants. The department claimed MedTech misrepresented job placement numbers. Some students say they're worried about their future at this point. Others say they are stuck with a lot of debt.
I was shocked. I mean, I've worked so hard to get to where I am with the school, and then to find out that it's all been for nothing, and they're showing no concern towards how it's affecting us.
If you had private loans, which many students that go to these types of colleges do, it's up to the loan servicer as to whether or not you can be forgiven, and that might be what is the gotcha for some of these students.
Now, if you have a federal direct loan, the Better Business Bureau says you may qualify for loan forgiveness. We have more information about all of this on WKYT.com. Spencerian College has offered to waive normal application fees to MedTech students, but it does not guarantee that all credits will transfer.
New on WKYT this morning, some students at Eastern Kentucky University have started a petition to get a dorm renamed on campus after Harambe. The petition on change.org asks EKU President Michael Benson to change the name of New Hall to Harambe Hall. Harambe was the name of the gorilla that was shot and killed by Cincinnati Zoo officials after a child got into his enclosure back in May. At last check this morning, the petition had got about 200 signatures. Interesting proposal.
We'll see where that goes, right?
Now here is a heartwarming story for you. Dozens of people showed their support for a man in Lexington who is fighting for his life.
Aaron Jackson is battling leukemia at the Marquis Cancer Center at UK. Last night, many of his friends stood outside the building holding signs and cheering for Aaron. Friends say they wanted to do something to show Aaron that they're thinking of him. They say they used Facebook to organize this.
Yeah, I mean, we put this together in 2 days. If that tells you how many people showed up in 2 days, we put this together of him coming out and, you know, deciding to do this. He's an amazing guy. He pressed himself on everybody. He's a friend to everybody, and people drop anything to come help him out.
Friends say Aaron will likely be moved to a different hospital soon so that doctors can try a different treatment. But man, he has some support, doesn't he?
So nice to see.
It really is. All right, our time this morning is coming up on 5:41, and it's time to check live drive traffic this morning and have our first look out there at what's going on. There's the region, and it looks good.
Everything's looking very green, which is always a nice color to see this time of day. And like we said, we don't really have any accidents to report. Here's a look at the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government's live drive cam. It's High Street and Broadway. They're in downtown Lexington. Few cars. Traffic starting to pick up, but still pretty calm.
Those real early birds are going to get in there and get it done today.
That's right.
Maybe they can leave early too, huh?
Hopefully.
Maybe they have it all figured out. All right, still a lot more to come on WKYT here on your Thursday morning. So good to have you with us today.
A very special lunch for the men and women in blue. We'll have that story when we come back on WKYT this morning.
We have the 70s out there this morning. It is pretty humid early. And once we hit the afternoon, we're talking about 90 degrees. Small chance of storms all the way through your weekend. It's more about the heat than anything else. I'll have that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We have the current temperatures outside in the 70s early this morning. 2 days ago, they were in the 50s. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but here comes that summertime setup outside that we have been expecting there in the forecast. And the look across the region isn't all that bad. We're at 72 there and in Danville. Really, for the most part, as we walk out the door, it's a pretty decent day in store. I really don't see much going on as we continue to travel in through the afternoon hours. It's just going to be warm and humid, that is for sure, as you're heading out and about. So just keep in mind that it's not going to feel that great once we travel off into the next few days, especially with the humidity on the rise. Now, if you're the kiddos heading out to the bus stop, I don't see any issues whatsoever. Here is the look. Temperature-wise, no problems. Muggy start, but temperature-wise, we're going to be there in the 70s. It's going to be pretty nasty as they walk out the door. Coming home, possibility of a small chance of rain, but for the most part, it's going to be just like their morning, where it's mainly just muggy, and that's what we're going to be focusing in on. Let's go hour by hour in towards your Friday. This afternoon, we're roughly 90 degrees. On Friday afternoon, we'll be roughly 90 degrees as well. Some will be right there, 90, 91, 92 degrees. Look at Frankfurt showing up at 92. Throw in that moisture. It's going to feel close to 100 degrees as we travel towards your Friday, even off towards your Saturday. 90 in Maysville, 90 in Richmond. So the next couple of days do not look that good. Let's talk about what you can expect there on Twitter, looking at these pages. Yeah, check that out. How cool is that shot? Beautiful day here in Lincoln County. That was sent to me by @KYCandace. Appreciate that shot. Just tweet it at me. I always show them off in the morning. Love to show these pictures. Great looking sunrises and sunsets the past couple of days. Today, small chance of rain later on this afternoon. And you know what? You're going to hear me say that. Well, actually, I'm off tomorrow, so you won't hear me say that tomorrow. Jim Caldwell will be saying it.
He gets to be the bad guy tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it's just that summertime setup, guys. Warm, humid, afternoon pop-up shower thunderstorm possible. That's about it in the forecast. Not too bad.
We might keep a mic on you. We can just hear you wherever you are.
Wherever.
Yeah.
I'll take it home with me.
That could be dangerous.
All right.
That is very true.
We got it, though. Summer pattern out there. Thank you, Micah. 5:47 right now.
A 5-year-old boy from New Jersey is doing good for the men and women in blue.
William Everts, Jr., he brought lunch to the Winslow Township Police Department. The boy spent his allowance money on Subway sandwiches for the appreciative officers. William's mom says her son wanted to make sure that they all had a healthy meal. And as a thank you to the boy, police sent William home with a number of gifts, including his very own officer shirt. Look at that. The police department issued a statement on its Facebook page thanking William for that wonderful meal. Good act.
Look at that little faux hawk he's got going. He is too cute.
That's right. Looks like he's about ready for the street, isn't he?
I know.
He could go out there and do some good with the officers.
What a sweetheart. Coming up, you'll get the stories making news at this hour.
Also, we'll be updating traffic for you this morning. We have some health news to let you in on, and our top stories are on the way. And it is so good to have you with us on WKYT this morning. Good morning and welcome back in. It's so good to have you along on WKYT. It's 5:51 on your Thursday, rolling right along bright and early.
I know, right into the weekend here pretty soon.
Here it comes.
Now let's take a look at some of the stories we're working on at this hour.
Our news team is busy right now. Police are searching for a man who they say killed his wife in Bath County. They're warning that he is armed and dangerous, and police say they suspect that Christopher White killed his wife Judith yesterday at a home on Peasteaks Road near Owingsville. He was last known to be driving a 2015 Jeep Patriot with Kentucky tags 165 VPE.
Police in Mount Sterling say they're investigating 12 heroin overdoses, all taking place in a matter of 5 hours. The Mount Sterling Police Department posted a warning about what they believe is a potent form of heroin. It's a trend that we're seeing across the region. Just in the past 2 days, there have been 62 overdoses in Cincinnati alone.
And some students at EKU have started a petition to get a dorm on campus renamed. The petition on change.org is asking EKU President Michael Benson to change the name of New Hall to Harambe Hall. Harambe was the name of the gorilla that was shot and killed by Cincinnati zoo officials after a child got into his enclosure back in May. We'll see how that all goes.
Yeah.
But given that the dorm is just called New Hall, I guess it
might need a new
might
name.
be open for for some discussion.
Very true,
there.
very
so
true.
we'll see what goes.
Emergency crews in Italy continue to search for survivors following a massive earthquake in central Italy.
The magnitude 6.2 quake reduced 3 towns, including hard-hit Amatrace, to rubble yesterday. More than 250 people are dead. Many others are injured there.
Hillary Clinton is back on the campaign trail in Nevada after days of private fundraising. The Democratic nominee broke her silence yesterday, defending her ties to her family's charitable foundation during her tenure as Secretary of State. Rival Donald Trump sharpened his attacks against Clinton in Mississippi yesterday, calling her a bigot who only sees people as color as votes.
People in the Midwest are cleaning up this morning after yesterday's devastating tornado outbreak there. Scores of homes and businesses were damaged in Howard County, Indiana, when a massive twister hit the town of Kokomo. Several other tornadoes were reported in neighboring Ohio. Indiana's governor and Republican vice presidential nominee Mike Pence will be touring the damage today.
Making today's top health headlines, the CDC has awarded $6.8 million to 11 public health organizations in their fight against Zika.
Federal officials expect the organizations will identify new cases, track mosquitoes, and increase public awareness about how to avoid the mosquito-borne virus.
Prince's private estate will soon be open to the public.
Purple Rain, people can go in and see the latest on the 2 big music tours as well. Daniel Nottingham reports on the entertainment news of the morning.
It's been 25 years since Thelma and Louise took the ultimate road trip. To mark the anniversary, the movie is back in theaters nationwide this week. Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon star as best friends looking to escape the boredom of their lives. Their little getaway takes an unexpected detour. A new movie pulls back the curtain on family life with all its comedy and heartbreak.
Ice cream and pretzels, one of my mom's favorite things.
Hey, how about heart attacks? Is that one of her favorite things too?
John Krasinski directed The Hollers and stars as a struggling artist who returns home to a dysfunctional family.
I think that what this movie is trying to be all about is family is complicated, but it's where you're from. There's something that you have to keep fighting for.
Margot Martindale stars as the mother.
She's the center of the family. She's the boss of the family. She's the chief of the family. And she loves her boys so very much.
The Hollers opens on Friday.
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
And Suicide Squad showed dominance at the box office for a 3rd straight week. Warner Brothers' supervillain flick pulled in nearly $21 million. The big-budget remake Ben-Hur was a flop. It debuted with $11 million. And that's your eye on entertainment. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
All right, now let's get a check this hour on today's traffic trouble spots with live drive traffic.
See what's going on. Here is a look at travel times into Lexington right now from Nicholasville. It's a good ride in, as well as Versailles, Paris, Georgetown, Winchester, all looking good. And about an average drive in as well between Fayette and Madison counties there this morning, as you can see there with the speeds just about normal. And we'll take a look at the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government's live drive cam. This is High Street and Broadway downtown. And it looks like there are more folks, more and more, getting on the road this morning. So things are getting a little more crowded.
Early start to the day for them.
But no accidents right now. Well, we felt it coming in very early this morning.
We did.
Humidity is already up there, you know, for today. So we will check in with Micah, who, by the way, has a big day today. It's birthday.
Birthday boy.
Yeah, somebody had to remind me of it this morning. Good Lord. 70 degrees there in London, 72 there in Jackson. Appreciate it, by the way, guys. And as we travel throughout your day, you're going to be looking at temperatures getting close to 90 degrees later on this afternoon. It's not going to feel good. That humidity is back in place. I told you guys Monday, Tuesday, you better take advantage of that really nice fall-like weather because we have some changes coming in. These are going to be big changes. A big change in the feel, that is. Have a great day if you're about to take off. If not, stick with us with another hour of WKYT News.